Well, to shed more light on this special day, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone His Excellency Ambassador Mongy, Badr Plenipotentiary and board member of the Egyptian United Nations Association. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon for you and your viewers.
Well, 19th of March 1989, it's not just a date in the calendar, it is considered the returning back of Taba to Egypt. Could you take us back to this date and give us more details about it?
In fact, Taba Liberation Day is a very significant historical anniversary in Egypt. Egypt celebrates the liberation of Taba on March 19 of each year, marking the anniversary of the liberation of Taba. It was the last part of Egyptian territory over which Egypt regained sovereignty after October 1973 war.
Yes. On
this day, Taba was reclaimed from Israeli occupation, marking the complete liberation of Sinai. An agreement on Taba was reached after very long negotiation between Egypt and Israel.
Yes.
Taba agreement was signed on 1989, resulting in Egypt regaining of the last part of Sinai.
Yes.
It was a very significant diplomatic achievement.
Yes. Your Excellency Ambassador Badr, what does this show of the Egyptian, the citizens, the army of Egypt, the president of Egypt also at that time, insisting to take every single part of Egypt back to the homeland or back to Egypt? Taba is a very tiny or a small part of Egypt, but at the same time the Egyptians would not ever leave any part of or any part of their land.
Yes.
What does this show of the Egyptian army and the Egyptian personality?
In fact, let me speak about Taba from the historical dimension.
Yes, please.
We start with October 1973 war. The following Egypt victory in the October war, it was a negotiation took place between Egypt and Israel regarding the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Sinai. Then the negotiation culminated in the signing of Camp David agreement between the president of Egypt, the late Anwar Sadat, and the Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin.
Yes.
This it was in America, in Camp David in America in 1979, which led to the withdrawal of Israel forces from the most of Sinai,
yes,
except Taba. Okay. However, Taba was the one of the areas over which disputed territory remained between Egypt and Israel. And this point, Taba was located on the border between Egypt and Israel. Israel returned it after its withdrawal from Sinai. But Egypt was determined to fully recover of Taba, that we should return each centi, each meter from Sinai, including Taba, especially after it became clear that Israel has illegally seized it. Yes. After that, we went to international arbitration. This it was in 1986. Egypt decided to turn to the International Court of Arbitration to demand the return of Taba. The court ruled in Egypt's favor, affirming that Taba was an integral part of Egyptian territory. This was a major diplomatic victory of Egypt.
Yes.
The return of Taba on March 1989, Taba was officially returned to Egypt. This day became a national holiday celebrating annually by Egypt to commemorate the return of the land to Egyptian sovereignty.
Yes.
This day also symbolizes the right and the demand for national right, as well as the achievement of full sovereignty over Sinai Peninsula.
Yes. What is the also as Egypt, you said, have went to the international court in order to take its rights and take back Taba. But there was also a role of negotiations and the role of diplomacy. We'd like to come closer and know more about the importance and the role of diplomacy.
In fact, as I mentioned, it was a very successful step by our team, led by the ex-Minister of Education. And also, it was direct instructions from Egyptian government to our team that to be very patient, to be very scientific, to be very cool when they are going to discuss with with Israeli delegation. Because of what? Israel put its strategy that we are going to commit a mistake at any time, unfortunately. And in that time, our delegation was very wise, very patient, and also to insist that Taba belonged to Egypt according to our documents, which we got from many places, from Turkey and also from our National Museum. And also there are some Egyptian people, they already have some documents and already delivered these documents to our delegation. And thanks for God, at the end of the day, it was a great victory for Egypt.
You mean the documents, maps or what?
This document, in fact, we got it from Turkey and also from our National Museum. And I think there is a person from Alexandria, he has some documents, and he delivered to Egyptian delegation. And according to this document, it was very clear that Taba belonged to Egypt. And also, don't forget that our delegation, they are very reasonable person. They were very patient, they were very clever, and they insist about what we need exactly. So at the end of the day, we got it back to our territory.
Yes. If we go back to 1989, I remember I was still young at school, a child at school, but I would not ever forget the atmosphere at that time and how the people felt, and even our television and the songs that were sang specially for Taba and for Sinai. Let us remember with each other what was the echo of the return of Taba on the Egyptians.
In this day, directly, we remember the October War, 1973.
Yes.
So this, because
and we remembered our martyrs also.
It's complete what we did in October 1973.
Yes.
In fact, Taba Liberation Day, it's a very significant historical event that reflects Egyptian determination to regain its full right. While Sinai, after that, we started the development of Sinai, which reflected the state commitment to achieving sustainable development in this vital region, which is a goal of raising the standard of living and achieving economic and social security and stability in Sinai.
Yes, also the return back of Taba in 1989 made the whole Egyptians remember the martyrs who were sacrificing their souls in the war, the 6th of October 1973, or the war of attrition, who sacrificed their lives for Egypt, or even the soldiers who were wounded and injured in the war.
It's not strange for Egyptian people that we used to defend our land, we used to defend the east, including the Sham area. since before Christmas. Don't forget Tahutmos الثالث.
Yes.
And he did a very good victory in Kadesh war, and also in Hittin, and also the very recent victory, it was October war.
Yes.
So that's why Egypt doesn't make any problem to its neighbor. And also we welcome to our neighbor if they come to Egypt as a guest. But we don't accept any aggression from any side. So it's Egypt, it's the country of history, it's the country of civilization. Egypt, it's the oldest country globally.
Yes.
So thanks for God. Now we have we have economic development, we have military, very recent and strong army,
yes.
And in the meantime we have tourism, and also we have natural resources, and moreover we have that people, Egyptian people, and the youth of Egypt, which prove every day that we are controlling our present, and we insist to be very, very effective part in future, and that future which belong to artificial intelligence and technology. In fact, I want to add about Sinai development,
yes,
because
please.
we start development after
and the projects,
we regain
yes.
Sinai, we regain Taba.
Yes. And also the
please.
Projects. Yes. Yes.
In fact, let me just one few words about Sinai. That it's considered the most important strategic region in Egypt. It's given its very sensitive geographic location between Africa and Asia, and its position as Egypt gateway to all East countries. Sinai important also lies on its diverse natural resource, such as oil, natural gas, and the mineral, in addition to its very distinguished tourist location, especially in the coastal area and of course the Sharm el-Sheikh area.
Yes, and also Ambassador Mongy, also the national mega projects that is taking place also in Sinai, and the infrastructure and several investments that took place and attracted a large number of tourists from all over the world. I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Ambassador Mongy Badr, Plenipotentiary, board member of Egyptian United Nations Association. I really had the honor to have this phono with you. Thank you very much for having this phono with you. And with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, Cairo Local Time. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.